Welcome to fabulous Las Vegas. In this fun vlog, we take you along on the top of a hop-on and hop-off tour bus. Come ride with us and see if we think this was an awesome experience or if we think it is simply a tourist trap. Hi everyone, I am Laurie.
And I am William.
And this is my husband. And we are part of Journey with the Gingers. Actually, the Journey with the Gingers is my daughter Hannah and I. But last November in 2022, we took a trip together with Hannah and her boyfriend Jarrell and William and I, and we went to Las Vegas. And it was your first time.
My first trip to Las Vegas.
So before we even left for Las Vegas, we decided that we were going to sit down together and with Hannah and Jarrell and talk about some things that we really wanted to do when we went on our trip and purchase some tickets and such in advance. And sometimes we did things with them and sometimes we did things without them. And this actually was an activity that you and I did together.
Yes.
And it was your choice. So tell everybody what you chose to do in Las Vegas.
I chose the hop-on, hop-off bus for the convenience of it.
Yeah, it was a big bus tours, hop-on, hop-off night tour. And why did you want to do the night tour?
The lights.
You want to see the lights of Las Vegas Strip.
Yes, the lights.
So we did it. The question we're going to have in this video, was it a tourist trap? Because there are a lot of tourist traps in many big cities, including Las Vegas. But in the end, we're going to share with you the pros of this tour and the cons. And we're going to tell you whether we think it was a tourist trap or not. So let's get started. Right when we booked the tour, we were given specific directions and they told us that this tour would begin at 7 p.m. and to be there about 15 minutes early. So we went to the location. So the location is in the Link area on the Strip, but we didn't really know where at the Link area to meet the buses. So for your information, if you choose this tour, have your lift take you to the High Roller, which is at the back of the Link. We had to walk all the way through the Link, which I enjoyed it because we weren't running late or anything. And I like seeing what the Link was. So, but the buses themselves are located by the High Roller, actually behind it, and it's near the Tesla charging station.
Right next to it.
So if you're taking this tour, you want to go on the hop-on, hop-off bus night tour, make sure you look for the Tesla charging station when you're looking for where your Lyft should take you or your Uber. So for us, we purchased our tickets in advance and they were $55 each. Just purchase them online or you can download their app and purchase them there. I did not see an area to purchase these tickets, so I guess you would just purchase them online. I think there are about 3 buses there for this tour.
3 or 4.
Yeah, for this, because we had a pretty good crowd and it was like a Monday night.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we got there on time. We waited in line. They collected our tickets and then we got on the buses. They ask you whether you want to be on the lower level of the bus or the upper because it's a double-decker bus. Of course, we chose the upper area.
That was the whole point of it.
Because we wanted to really see the lights and it was a great view from there. So we did choose the upper level and they would tell you like how many seats were left at the lower level and how many seats were left at the upper level. And if they didn't have enough seats for you, they would move you to the next bus. So they're very accommodating. All right, so this tour was the night tour, and it took, they say, from 2.5 to 3 hours for the tour. So if you're wanting to plan your time, 2.5 to 3 hours. So once the bus was filled, the bus headed down kind of a side street to the northern end of the Las Vegas Strip. We started off by seeing where the pinball arcade is. I forgot what it's called.
Pinball Museum.
Pinball Museum, I think. We didn't stop there, of course, but we saw what that is. And then we saw the Las Vegas sign. And for those of you that have ever seen the Las Vegas sign, you will know that there's usually a long line of people waiting to get their picture taken in front of the sign. Of course, the bus couldn't stop in the middle of the strip and let us all out do that. But being on the top of the bus, we were able to get some really good pictures and video, I think. Just not of us standing in front of it, of course.
So we headed down the strip on the way, and the narrator, he gave a description of the trip. and
what
the history
we're
and
seeing.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he also gave us some interesting facts about things
Yeah.
as we went along, things you wouldn't normally know. So then we started passing the resorts, which was really cool. We passed the Mandalay Bay. We saw the Luxor. So then we continued to go along, and then we saw New York, New York. And I think New York is beautiful at night. Just, it really looks like the New York skyline. It's well lit up. And so we passed there and got some good pictures of that. Next, we came down to Paris, and we saw the Eiffel Tower. I think it was like in red, white, and blue lights.
Yes.
It was very nice. And then I loved when we got to Bellagio because they had the water show going on.
Yes.
And we got some good you got some good footage of that. If you haven't seen the water show, the fountain show at night at Bellagio, it is gorgeous. It's well worth it to go there and see it. After the Bellagio, do you remember what was next?
Oh, Caesar's Palace. Caesar's Palace is gorgeous. After we passed Caesar's Palace, on the right was Flamingo, which is an older establishment in Vegas historically.
It's still beautiful, though.
Yes,
it's really pretty from the outside. Further down, as we continued, we passed the Venetian and the Palazzo. I'm going to say that wrong, but I think it's the way it says. The Palazzo. Is it Palazzo?
Bellagio.
Palazzo. Anyway, y'all know what we mean. So moving forward, we saw the Wynn and the Encore resorts, and we heard some funny stories about that. One thing, I think it was the Wynn, where they planted a ton of trees in front of it because they didn't like the building across the street.
Yeah, he didn't like the view of it, so he put like a rainforest there.
Because it was like the fashion mall or something like that, and they didn't want their people that were staying there to see that out their windows. So, to each his own. So then we really started getting to some older ones, such as Circus.
Oh yes, Circus.
It was bright.
Yeah, it's very bright, very, very, very old.
Yeah. And then moving further down, it almost like it was right in front of us was the Strat. Remember the Strat? Like William's like, I don't know what she's talking about. The Stratosphere. It used to be the Stratosphere. They now call it the Strat. It's this large tower kind of thing. They have some. I think they have some rides or something up on the top. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But it dominated the skyline. I mean, it sounded like it was directly in front of us for a while when we were coming down. One of the pleasant surprises that I didn't even know existed, and I was just, like I said, pleasantly surprised, was the Arts District. After we passed the Strat and all that, we kind of ended up at the Arts District. And the Arts District, of course, is not flashy like Vegas. It's what it is, an arts district. But it has a lot of locally owned businesses and stores and restaurants. And I said, after we did this trip, I said, that's one place when I go back to Vegas the next time, I want to go and see it, because it's totally different. But it looked like a very...
It's not like advertised like with lights and everything.
But I would definitely go down there and visit and see all the little shops and restaurants. And it's cute because they have like these lights hanging across the street, like pretty little strung lights. It's just really pretty and peaceful down there. And then from the opposite of peaceful and quiet, we ended up at Fremont Street, and our driver took us to the Golden Nugget, where we were dropped off, and we were told, I think we had about an hour and a half down on Fremont Street.
At least an hour and a half.
Yeah. And he said he would come back and pick us up in that same location at the Golden Nugget. And we hung out at Fremont Street. We'll talk about pros and cons include that in our pros and cons at the end. But we did hang out at Fremont Street for a little bit. We then came back to the Golden Nugget, and we kind of walked through the Golden Nugget just to kind of see, because I've never been inside of it, and then waited for our bus driver after that. He dropped us off back at the link, and we took a lift back to the hotel from there. All right, so let's talk about the pros and cons of the hop-on, hop-off bus night tour, and tell you whether we think it was a tourist trap or not. So the first pro was, I like that we were picked up at the link, because, being at the link, you could actually make a whole evening of it. You could, go to dinner first and then get on the bus, enjoy that, like a longer evening of activities. It was a great location to be picked up and dropped off.
Yeah.
William, what's one of your pros?
One of my pros was the open view of the strip at night. It was awesome. You got the whole effect, and you got historical information and facts.
Mm-hmm. I think one of my pros, it was because, and it really wasn't the bus's choice, but because you're on the strip and there's traffic and everything, it was slow moving, so you really got to take in the sights of everything. I really liked that that we went down there slowly. We got to see a lot, and it was just a very thorough view of the Las Vegas Strip. So those are our pros.
Yep.
Let's talk about our cons. I think one of my cons is I had trouble hearing the narration or the guy that was speaking to us on the bus. And I know that the strip is loud, because the cars and everything, but I think that they should take that into consideration on the sound system of the bus.
Yes.
Because he was giving us a lot of interesting information, but it was hard to capture what he was saying at all times because of the sound system. It was kind of muffled sounding.
Yeah.
And he was a great guide, super nice guy.
Oh yeah, he knew his information.
I just feel like we would have gotten more out of it if the sound system on the bus was better.
One of the cons, I take it the drop off and our time away on Fremont Street. You didn't need all that time.
But I think so a con would be that we personally felt like it was too much time on Fremont Street. We could have shortened that. And we actually had some people that didn't stay on Fremont Street that actually took a Lyft or Uber back.
Yes.
Because they didn't want to stay as long as they did. But at the same time, I did enjoy seeing like inside the Golden Nugget and things like that. I think it's just the atmosphere actually on Fremont Street. But once you get into some of the hotels and check them out, it's kind of cool. But I don't think I need an hour and a half on Fremont Street. That was just my only
the canopy, the zip line and all that and everything that was there. It's an experience. Go for it. I mean, so you can have it in your memories and everything. Yeah.
But that's the only cons I think I really had from the whole thing is the sound system and just too much time at Fremont Street. So the question is the hop on and hop off night tour a tourist trap, or is it something that we actually enjoyed?
For me, being a first timer, never been there before, it's a must. It's worth it. You get and nighttime, you get the full effect of seeing the lights, and that's what I believe Vegas is known for. There are lights
and the atmosphere.
Yeah.
So I loved it, actually. I would highly suggest it for $55 a person to get a full tour of the whole Vegas Strip and more, and to also get the experience on Fremont Street. If you've never been, you need to see it, at least once. So I think it's absolutely worth it. I think it's a deal for $55 a person for 3 hours of fun. And I think they did an awesome job. So yes, I think it's worth it. No, I don't think it's a tourist trap.
No, I don't believe it's a tourist trap at all.
So we have more coming from Las Vegas. We have a lot more coming, actually. Hannah and Jarrell did something really cool, and I think that's going to be our next video. And we're not going to tell you what it's about yet, because you're going to have to wait around to find out. So if you're not subscribed to our channel, please hit that subscribe button. If you don't mind hitting that thumbs up, we appreciate that. And we hope that if you haven't experienced Las Vegas, that you experience it in many ways and do something fun like this, because it's a great way to see what it's all about. So for now, thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to journey on. Bye, y'all. Bye. If you like this video, check out the video to the left where we toured the Las Vegas Mob Museum and enjoyed 2 of our favorite Cirque du Soleil shows.